Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Pluribus Diaries. I'm Annie.
I'm Jenn.
Oh my gosh, Jenn. Vince Gilligan TV is back.
Woo! Yes, it is.
We just watched season 1, episodes 1 and 2 of Pluribus.
Yep.
And we are here to bring you guys recap of the episodes.
I know, a recap and sort of a chit-chat about it. A chit-chat.
Yeah. Before we get started, I wanted to let you guys know who we are. We have another podcast called X-Files Diaries. You may know us from there, and you may not. If you know us, hello. If you don't know us, welcome and hello.
Yeah, hello.
We have been chit-chatting about X-Files, a Vince Gilligan staple, for the past 7 years.
Yeah,
and it's not like the X-Files is getting old, because the X-Files never gets old.
Never.
But when we heard the Pluribus was happening, we both agreed this is going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah. We've been waiting a while now.
Yes, and it's the first time you and I, Jenn, have actually podcasted a brand new series that neither of us have watched.
Yeah, this is all new. Our jam is more like the sort of 20 to 30-year-old series that is the X-Files. So this is new to us and so exciting.
Yeah, and we have not communicated actually since the show dropped. So we don't even know. You don't know each other's thoughts. We're saving them fresh for you guys here on the pod. So excited to get started.
We could even put a chart on a television right now that would say, we can't read minds, because we don't know each other's minds at this point.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yes.
Before we get started, I really wanted to give a shout out to the official podcast, the official Pluribus podcast. Yes. If you guys aren't listening, you should. Mm-hmm. It's hosted by Chris McCaleb, who did all of the Better Call Saul. And he worked on the Breaking Bad podcast that were both run by AMC, and they covered every single episode of both of those shows. Yeah. Vince was on pretty much every single episode, and it seems like they're planning to do the same thing here with Pluribus. So check them out. They're going to have so many great tidbits and wonderful conversations. I listened to them today, and it was just so nice hearing everybody. It's like a family.
It so is. You get such an insight into how they get along with each other and how they just seem to be just so on the same wavelength, and you can see how they can produce great stuff like this, because they clearly have a great working chemistry. Everyone that's been on the show, I mean, the host barely had to say anything. They were just like off to the races with so much to say, with so much passion about the show, and they got along so beautifully, and they just work really well together. It was just a delight to listen to.
Definitely. So yes, check them out for sure. And yeah, Jenn, what do you say? What do you say we get started and jump right in here?
Let's talk about Pluribus, baby.
I think it's important to say at the top, right off the top here, that I loved it. I loved the show. It was everything I could have possibly wished for and more. And I'm so excited to see more. What about you?
I loved it. I mean, I wasn't sure exactly what to expect, because we'd only been given so much information. But, I figured Vince Gilligan, Rhea Seehorn, it's going to be good. I'm pretty confident about that. But then watching it, I'm like, this is like great. If I'd never heard of Vince Gilligan or Rhea Seehorn and I had stumbled across the show, I would have absolutely loved it, because it's all of the genres that I enjoy sort of mashed up into one somehow. It's like sci-fi. There's like a zombie vibe to it, a disaster movie vibe. It's funny. There's aliens involved. Like, there's a culty vibe. Like, so many sort of things that I'm into that I find interesting have been stuffed into the show in such a successful way.
It's very rare that I go into something with very high expectations, even though I know that's kind of the kiss of death, and I try not to do it. Yeah. I trust Vince Gilligan and Rhea so implicitly that and those expectations, like I said, were exceeded. That's very, very rare. I don't expect that to happen, and it did. And that was really great.
Yeah. So, isn't that nice? I mean, it is a rare thing, right? Because, I found the same thing. Like, I was trying to keep my expectations under control, but they were exceeded. And and I'd heard, a little talk that you know, it was getting really good reviews and everything. And I'm like, okay, but try not to get ahead of yourself.
Try not to get too excited.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
we're in this for the long haul either way. So I was just kind of like, I was not surprised, but I was also a little relieved. I'm like, okay, I'm so glad that this is a good show. Yes.
We were already doing a podcast about it. This is going to make it that much more fun.
Exactly.
So, thank goodness. But yeah, it really somehow did exceed my expectations. I was talking to my husband just, you know, shortly before we went on, and I said, oh shit, I haven't thought of anything I don't like about the show. I better think about something to critique, because right now all I've got is I like this, I like that, I like this. So we'll see. I might come up with a couple of very tiny quibbles as we go, and that's about all.
I'm just glad, as Carol says in the episode, that this is something that we can celebrate and not just simply endure. Is that what she said? Something like that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. Right. It is. It's exactly that. And yeah, I can't wait to get into it.
All right. Well, let's do that. Let's do it. So this show begins in a, I don't know if you had this vibe, Jen, but I immediately thought of the movie Contact, which is one of my favorite movies.
Is it?
Yeah, really. It's not, you know, it's not like an all-timer, but it's up there for me. Like, I really like that movie a lot.
It's a great movie. So yeah, this definitely had that vibe.
My husband was like, where's Jodie Foster? But yeah. And the first shot, I don't know if this is me getting way too deep, but there's no such thing as too deep for a Vince show, I think.
No, there's not.
The very first shot is like a stormy sky, which I was like, this is like a really kind of emblematic of our heroine, right? Like, because she's kind of a miserable, stormy person.
She's
right?
a bit stormy.
Yeah,
she's a little stormy. Yeah.
So I don't know. I just liked that. Anyway.
I like that. I mean, it was a gorgeous first shot. I mean, everything about the opening scenes were stunningly done. I mean, the photography throughout was beautiful.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful cinematography throughout. We have these countdown clocks that I thought were a really kind of interesting, cool way to sort of anchor the show throughout and kind of keep you lined, like going with what is happening.
Very cool. Again, I mean, it gave us an idea of the passage of time, which it served that purpose, but it also ramped up the suspense.
The tension.
Like, what are we counting down to?
What is I don't know how important it is, but I'm gonna put it out there. First of all, sorry, we should probably say the episode title.
Oh, we probably should.
We Is Us, and it is written and directed by the man himself, Vince Gilligan.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, the clock says 439 days, 19 hours, 56 minutes, 11 seconds. And that's where it starts. And we find out later that essentially that's about 14 months, they said.
Yeah.
I was trying to quickly do math. So I'm like, stop doing math, watch the show.
Yeah. But, I'm like, it's longer than a year. That's all I need to know right now.
Right. Did you notice I had the subtitles on the second time around watching it, that the subtitles were yellow?
I did notice that the subtitles were yellow. That's right. They're not normally, are they? They're normally white.
Yes, I thought that was very cute.
Oh, yeah. I didn't make that connection. Pluribus, yellow. It's a very significant color.
We got these two guys. I don't know their names. Sweater guy and goatee guy, I guess.
Yeah, okay. We can go with that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to meet them again, so I think it's probably okay.
I mean, they were great as characters at the very beginning. I mean, they were fun characters and well played, and so I think they did their job very, very well.
Yeah. Sweater Guy's very excited because he's discovered this code that has been sent from space. And again, this whole scene was just vibing Contact for me. I was like, okay, I'm right here with you. I'm not confused. Like, I know what's happening. This is a big deal. Extraterrestrial message. And it was just a really cool way to sort of build this story from the ground up. I was not sure. Yeah, I was not sure if we were going to get to see Ray right away or if it was going to make us wait a little while. I don't know if you thought this, Jen, but it made me think of, and I know we've given this shit in the past, but it made me think of the beginning of the X-Files movie, Fight the Future.
Oh,
right? Like, not in a bad way, because I think this was actually paced very well. And
this was well done on Pluribus, whereas we have not had great things to say about the cold open for, well, I call it the cold open of the first scene
build
of
up for
the X-Files movie. Yeah.
But I think it's also, I don't know. I don't want to compare them too much because I felt like that was different. You're all kind of sitting around expecting Mulder and Scully, and then you have to wait. What was it, like 14 minutes or some ridiculous amount of time.
It was too long, and the 14 minutes were not fascinating 14 minutes. But this is very different.
This is very different, but it reminded me in the way that I'm waiting for Rhea. Like, I'm just like, where is she? And
I get that. I didn't mind it personally, the wait, and because it was so. At first, I was like, well, this is not Rhea Seehorn, but then I got so involved in what these guys were doing that I was like, no, okay, I can get into this. You can go on with these guys for as long as you want now. I'm really into it.
It didn't bother me either, to make that clear. I just thought of that because we were waiting and waiting and waiting, and more scenes are happening, and there was no Carol. I'm like, where's Carol? But then it's funny because I watched it, at this point, I've watched it 3 times. And by the second time watching it through, it actually felt very fast. Like, it felt, you know what I mean? And so
you're not waiting.
You're not, you already know what's happening. Yeah. So I don't know. I felt like it was less long for me in the first time. But this isn't a criticism, but it did make me think of that because I was just, it's only because I wanted to see Rhea so badly. That was the only reason.
That's fair.
But finally they figure out that this code that's coming in is, they call it quaternary.
Quaternary, which I guess is like binary is 2 and quaternary is 4.
Yeah. I don't know,
I'm
but
learning.
I liked the word.
Yeah. We're learning from Pluribus.
Yeah. But then we find out, he's like, I think I know what it is. And then you immediately cut to a lab and some classic, I don't know what the song was, but it was just very, I don't know, it was just very Vince Gilligan show-esque.
Yeah, it's kind of slight sort of like big band vibe kind of thing. And
it's not eerie. It's like something exciting is happening.
Yeah.
Look what we're doing.
Upbeat, and it's like the most colorful lab I've ever seen in my life. Everyone's wearing like really colorful outfits. And I'll also say this of the whole episode. I think that We Is Us in particular had really beautiful saturated colors in almost every scene. Mm-hmm. And this is, to me, the first time I noticed it because, you don't usually wear colors like that in a lab, I don't think. But then once I noticed it in that scene, I started noticing it in other scenes that there's a lot of color in this particular episode.
I'm not one of these color theorists, but I find that stuff fascinating. Like,
oh, I'm so into the color theory idea, but also I don't have like a natural affinity for picking up on it. So I welcome all of the color theorists. And it's like the kind of thing I would notice on like maybe my 3rd or 4th watch, but it'll take me a while to click. Yeah. But I do enjoy Vince's use of color because I know it's always done deliberately. And it was really interesting to watch through this episode.
Yeah. But we basically find out that they are, and this is my first question for you, Jenn.
Okay.
They're constructing or putting together this like genome sequence or like a nucleotide sequence. I am not a scientist. Please, people, feel free to be like, Annie, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. But my question to you is, Jenn.
Yep.
Why are they doing this? Because like I get being curious.
Why are they doing that?
Like, I get being curious. You've got this alien message and you're like, let's find out what it is. But like, I just remember going back to Contact, just all these conversations about like, well, what if they're telling us to build a nuclear bomb and it's going to destroy the whole planet? What if it's bio warfare, which is what it ends up being? You know what I mean? Like all of these things that are very, very bad news. And yet they're all happily doing it. Like,
in their colorful outfits.
Yes.
They do seem really super keen. All I'll say is it didn't strike me as particularly strange, though it probably should have. I think that I would just take it as they thought that the precautions they were taking were sufficient, that they wouldn't have to worry about exposure to it, that this is just an experiment. We're just going to experiment on rats or on, various ways of doing experiments. You can tell I really know my scientific lingo.
It's okay. I don't either.
And that this is just going to be a really cool scientific discovery. And once we figure it out, then we'll decide what to do with it from there. But I bet you it's going to be really, really cool and interesting. And we don't have to worry about any kind of danger because it's in a lab. We know we have it contained. It's going to be fine.
I don't see this, just to be clear, I don't see this in any way as like a plot hole or anything. There's nothing wrong with it because I think this is very human. to be curious. And I mean, also the hubris to think that you can control this, to think, oh, we got it. But I always am thinking of like,
only good can come from this because we got it. It's nothing bad's going to happen here.
As the great Dr. Ian Malcolm once said, we were so wrapped up in thinking about whether or not we could, we didn't stop to think about if we should.
That is, he was never more right than he was in this episode of Pluribus.
Anyway, I just wanted to point that out because I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, we know this actually is going to end up being a virus type thing. So why are they making it? I don't know. I get it. But it was like, wow, we really do bring our own misery upon ourselves. I mean, it could just be a metaphor for that, which is great and true and real. But
and I mean, I'm not going to get into a lot of details about the origin of COVID, but we know that it came from a lab in some form or other. And I mean, clearly labs are dangerous places when it comes to viruses, and yet we still keep doing it. So it's not that hard to believe. Scientists just love new things and discovering new things. There's nothing they love more. You can't hold those guys back.
No. And I mean, look,
we're very pro-science.
This time, we are very pro-science here on Pluribus Diaries. We should make that clear.
Are.
But this time maybe it wasn't the best choice, but whatever. We'll
maybe
get to
slow
that.
down, Brownie. But
and just I didn't say it, but at the point where they're in the lab, it's at 71 days, 13 hours, 21 minutes, 2 seconds. So that means it counted down from 439 days to 71 days.
So a lot of time had passed. So
before they even figured it out.
Before they even got as far as the lab and doing any kind of tests. So I thought that was a cool way of indicating that, okay, this might seem like it happened right away, but it seems quite realistic to me that it would take a while to get to the point where you can even try something in the lab. So I thought that seemed quite realistic to me anyway.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Jen.
Yeah.
Here we are. We have finally arrived to meet Carol Sturka, our reluctant hero, as Vince would refer to her as, played by the perfect Rhea Seehorn. I just can't think of a better
I could see that
word.
You were just struggling to even think of like, what adjective could I even use here? Let's just say perfect.
There aren't enough superlatives to describe her. That's just the way it is.
I agree.
They're in Dallas on her book tour.
Yeah, at Barnes & Noble.
She is a romance novelist.
She's not just a romance novelist. That's
historical,
a pretty historical, speculative romance, something like that. So it's no ordinary. And my husband could not get over the size of the book. He was like, that is a really big book. And he still he's kept talking about it today, the size of the book. She's not just doing lightweight paperbacks here. She's doing some serious writing.
It's a lot. It's a lot of mindless crap, as she would call it.
But the most important thing that we got at the start of this episode, besides being able to meet Carol, is finding out finally the origin of the original title of Pluribus, which those of us that have been following it for years knows was Waikaro.
Yeah.
And now we know why.
It was like Waikaro 339, which I'm still not sure what the 339 is.
Time will tell, perhaps.
Figure that out. Yeah.
But Waikaro, is it a place name? For the longest time I thought it was going to be like the name of a town in New Mexico or something. And no, now we know it's just the name of the trilogy that Carol has written.
But I think it's funny how, and if I heard it correctly, the guy on the loudspeaker actually says it's the fourth book in the Winds of Waikaro trilogy. I was like, wait,
how does that work?
I want to say this guy just maybe misspoke because he did mispronounce the name.
He didn't know how to say it either, which was also kind of a funny little moment. Mm-hmm. But I kind of liked the idea that it was meant to be a trilogy, and it's so successful that even if Carol wanted to stop, she's still putting out books, whether she intended to or not. This thing has a life of its own. That's how I took that.
Absolutely. I want to also shout out the shot that we are introduced to Carol. Yeah, is this beautiful shot. We kind of like are drifting across the audience, and we land on her back and facing the back of her head, and it very much reminded me instantly of a shot in Better Call Saul where, and I believe it was in Ray's episode that she directed, that you're just focused on the back of her head and you see her ponytail. And this almost to me felt like the show telling us this is not Kim Wexler.
Yeah. I think they talked about that on the official podcast, didn't they? I think that that Ray even mentioned that as kind of, it was just kind of an added bonus of that shot.
Yeah. Shout out to Marshall Adams, who's the cinematographer, and he was also the cinematographer in Better Call Saul. And I mean, that was a shot that obviously she came up with him in the while making that episode, but like it stood out to me when I was watching the episode, which is why I'm pointing it out. Yes.
All right, nice.
I have a scarily encyclopedic memory when it comes to Better Call Saul.
Oh, you do, which is always welcome. So that's I think that's really cool as a parallel between those two. And I think it was a cool way to introduce her. Like they, could have just done a very sort of straight ta-da, here she is doing a book reading. But the shot from behind is, I think that on the official podcast, Vince referred to as like a movie star introduction to your main character. Mm-hmm. And I love that. I think it's true. I think that that's kind of a cool way to introduce someone, as like, it gives it gravitas. Like, here's someone important.
Very important.
So it was a very cool shot.
He mentioned Indiana Jones, which I wanted to bring up because I'm going to mention that again later. So I just wanted to bring it up.
Thank you.
Because yes, when we meet Indy in Raiders of the Lost Ark, we don't really get to see his face for a few minutes. It's his back is back, and then finally he turns around and you get to see his handsome ass face. Just like here, we finally get to turn around and see the beautiful Rhea Seehorn. It's amazing and perfect and wonderful.
It just builds up to the beauty.
So I wrote. Jen, I'm sad. I wrote the entirety of her novel down.
The actual
what she read. Yeah, what she read.
She was reading. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not a clip. Whatever it is from a book.
Snippet, I guess.
Part. I don't have the word for it at the moment. Thank you. Excerpt is the word. Okay. Yes, you wrote it down. Beautiful. Well, are you going to share? Are you going to do a dramatic reading right now?
Do you want me to?
I mean, you don't have to. I mean, I wasn't sure if that was your plan or not. But
well, I wrote it. I didn't know. I was going to see how I felt. But the reason I wrote it because I was wondering if it was going to have any sort of meaning beyond just the mindless crap that she says that it is. Right. And I just think there are parts of it that very much mimic Carol's journey in this episode. And I thought that was interesting.
Okay. Well, which parts do you think are the most significant ones?
The idea of serving at his captain's pleasure might take on such sweet meaning, or it would last a single night. It just made me think about, she's just like, basically she's going to have one more night with her wife. And then once again, she was alone. I think that it was one of those things that I felt as I was listening to it, I was just like, this is kind of, not specifically, but it did have meaning. And I wonder too, as we go along with the show, if the book itself is going to have, because we already know that it has a huge impact on the story coming up. So it just, the more that we can integrate the book and her words, I just thought that would be an interesting thing to point out. So we'll see.
Very, very interesting. Yeah, I didn't totally pick up on that at the time, but yeah, there's definitely a tragic air to her story and to that excerpt of it that she read. So yeah, nothing's ever by mistake, I don't think, in a Vince Gilligan script. So I'll be interested to see how that pans out in the episodes to come.
But this whole sequence here, when she's signing for her fans, I loved everything about this sequence. Because Jen, embarrassingly, like I've been that fan. Like I've been that person in line. I like, it's so real. Like everything they hit in that was pitch perfect. So funny. I love when they pointed out that this is her support person, because like all the husbands that have been dragged along, that really made me laugh. And
it was all great. It did feel so real.
Yeah, it did. And what I also loved about the scene is that regardless of what's going on in her head, and we find out later what's going on in her head, she's treating everyone very well. Like she's treating everyone
really
very kindly. And I think it's actually earnest. Like, and Ray has said before in interviews that like her kind of curmudgeoniness about her fans and her work is more about herself and her own self-loathing and her own inability to get something out there that she's proud of. I think that she's kind of projecting that onto these people. Like, how dare you support how shit I am? Like, in a very, very basic way.
That's an interesting, I like that. I like that interpretation a lot, because at the time I was like, are they making fun of her fans?
No.
Is she knocking her fans? But then I thought about it a bit more, and I thought, no, I think I can kind of see it more the way you're saying, Annie, that it's more like, I think you've articulated it well, like, this is shit. Why do you like this shit so much?
Right.
I'm shit. What are you doing here?
Yeah. It's almost like she can't like be happy. Like, for whatever reason, this is not making her happy. Maybe it's because she knows she's capable of better. Maybe it's because she's, like, as she says later, she knows that she's basically putting crap out into the world, which is also very, indicative of what's going on in this whole show. So I don't know. I think that there are many layers. I think the show is actually maybe making fun of these fans a little bit, as they have every right to, because we can be a little embarrassing at times.
We can indeed be very embarrassing,
but in a very playful, loving way, not in like a mean-spirited way at all.
I thought it was done from a place of knowledge and understanding. Like, I've seen sort of fans and nerds and types like that on TV sort of made fun of before, and often it's from a place of someone that mocks them and doesn't even get them on any level. Right. Whereas I feel like in this case they get them, and it's kind of like, you can kind of make fun of your family kind of thing. It's kind of that kind of vibe, I thought.
That's I like that. It's like, they're annoying fans, but they're my annoying fans.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Yeah.
Kind of like that. Yeah. So I didn't mind it, and it was very spot on, so I couldn't hate on it. It was very funny.
Right. I also liked the little detail, and I don't know how much of this, I was listening on the pod, and they just said that a lot of this was ad lib, like the actors were just kind of doing what they wanted to do in the moment, which I think is great.
I think that's really neat.
So funny and so good. I wanted to give a shout out to the one girl named Maureen, who actually came back a second time because she needed a second book for her bath. I felt that so deeply. I've never actually done that, but like, when I read in the bath, like, especially if you have like a new book and you're reading it in the bath, and then you accidentally get like a little bit of water on it, and you're just like, fuck, it's ruined now. Like, so I really like that idea, Maureen. Thank you. I might buy 2 books now in the future.
And Maureen went through the line twice, which I thought was very polite of her. Yeah, she didn't hold up the line to get 2 books signed at once. She got her 1 book signed, went back to the end, and came back around again. I thought it was very thoughtful of the other fans.
It was, but I also was wondering if it was a thought that came upon her as she was leaving. Like, she was like ready to leave and like, I'm gonna go home and get in the bath, and then thought, but what if I get my beautiful book wet? And then she went back and got another copy. Yeah, I was thinking maybe that's
I think so. Yeah, I think that's entirely possible.
Yeah, and I love the the single male in line. Yeah. Like, okay, first of all, and we should talk about this because this is actually a huge deal, that like Vince originally had intended this to be a male protagonist and changed it because of Ray, which is a wonderful thing to hear, and I'm a wonderful thing that he did.
Yeah.
Not just for Ray, but for women. And I think that changes so many things about the show, about just the feel of it.
Oh, yeah.
Completely. And how we're going to follow this protagonist. Like, I feel like with a male protagonist, this could be a completely different show. Not a worse show, just a different show.
Yeah.
And this it's really great that we're getting so many female voices in this show. Amazing. Particularly considering a lot of the negative, like, anti-female backlash that Breaking Bad received, particularly through the character of Skylar and the actress of Anna Gunn, which was completely undeserved and ridiculous.
Yeah.
And even Vince thinks so.
Yeah.
So in a way, I wonder if this was like partially maybe a response to that, which I like to think that it was.
Yeah. I like the idea. Yeah. I love the idea that first of all, that the character was inspired by Ray, which is beautiful. And I love the fact that he went all in, because it's not very often that we have a TV show that's led by a woman, not just a woman and a man as co-stars, but a woman as the lead is so rare and so amazing. And I'm so happy to see it because it's not something you see very often. And it does make it a totally different story.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's just a story for women by any means. But it does make it interesting and different.
Not only a woman, but a gay woman, which is even taking it another step further in the right direction, in my opinion. I think that this is it's leaving no room for, I don't want to say error, that's not the right thing, but like no room for like, oh, this was just a happenstance. No, we're making these very active choices, and I love them. I love it.
I love all of it, and it feels very natural. None of it feels shoehorned in or anything like, oh, but hey, this was going to be a male protagonist, but what if we made it a woman? Right. No, it doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like it just feels very natural that, of course, the protagonist is a woman. It just, how this wouldn't be Pluribus if it wasn't that.
Right. Much agreed. And I think that what started me saying this is that the single male fan in line made me think of that. Because even though I know it's not technically true or the case, I like to think that Vince made this show for the ladies, just saying.
I mean, the ladies are certainly going to enjoy it. But, I will say that my husband did watch it with me. And we don't watch a lot of TV together, to be honest. We tend to have just slightly different tastes, and neither of us has any interest in sitting through something that we don't want to watch. And so we tend to watch things separately, but he watched this with me and he loved it. I think a lot of men are going to really, it's just good television.
I'm not suggesting men are not going to like this show, Jen. It's absolutely not the case. I'm just, pointing it out, and I'm being half in jest, fully in earnest, as you would say.
Yeah, nice one.
But men should like this show. There's no reason that they shouldn't.
I think they do. So there's nothing that would preclude that by any means. And It's just good TV is good TV, whatever the gender of the lead character.
Absolutely. So after the book signing, and we get to kind of meet this, I don't want to say it's a false version of Carol. It's not. I don't think it's necessarily an authentic, but she's definitely not the same when she gets into the car.
Right.
And you can tell she's exhausted and she doesn't really want to be here doing this. And I think this might be one of my favorite, and I had a lot of favorite moments. This might be one of my favorite moments in the episode is when the driver asks, should I know who you are? And she's like, I don't know. Are you a fan of mindless crap? And like Helen has heard this all before. Yeah. And just the way they don't have to communicate. She just takes her hand. And then Carol looks over at her. You can see the change. Like you can see suddenly it's the real Carol. I mean, I know I just said it, she wasn't being inauthentic, but like you could see that like Helen gets her and she gets Helen. And it's just like this just was such a wonderful, authentic moment. I really loved it. I thought it was really great.
I thought it was a beautiful demonstration of their relationship. We don't get that long to get to know Helen and to get to know what their relationship is, but that very brief and pretty wordless scene conveys a lot about their relationship, and I think it was so beautifully done.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of Kim and Jimmy's first scene where they don't have a lot of dialogue or a couple words, and everything else is visual. It's just you could tell these two people have this deep history. They understand each other, and it really comes across in this scene.
Yeah.
So, coming up to this next scene, I'm very excited to hear your thought when you learned that the donut licking lady's name is Jenn.
Woo! I'm responsible for the virus.
You were patient zero, Jenn.
I'm patient zero. It was an exciting moment. I have to say, there's not that many Jenns in movies and television, but there was, and I gotta say, I was pretty excited actually because we know Jenn already. We've seen her in the very first teaser.
Yep.
And so she's, in the grand scheme of things, she's not going to be a huge character, but to us as fans that have been following the show prior to its airing, we know her from that teaser. Right. And so to me, she's already like a big character. And I'm like,
she's an icon. Yes.
She's Jenn.
And she was really great.
I was inordinately excited.
Yeah, she was really great. I need to look up the name of this actress because I want to give her a shout out.
It's Blair Beacon.
Thank you. She was great.
Jenn, can I also say it's Jenn with two N's, just like me. I'm Jenn with two N's, which you don't always see. So
you don't.
Thank you. Thank you, Vince.
I'm just sitting here, and the whole time I was like, wow, Jenn, I just hope at some point there's a character named Annie, and then we'll be set.
We'll be even. So I'm going to keep an ear open for that for the next episodes to come.
I loved it though. I screamed. I was like, oh my God, Jenn's going to be so happy. She's the donut licking lady.
I was really happy.
So at this point, we are at 29 days, 23 hours, 49 minutes, and 58 seconds.
Yep.
So we're about a month out from, I guess, we'll say D-Day.
Things are coming.
So they're at the U.S. Army Medical Research Institute for Infectious Diseases.
Thank you.
And they are the ones who are, okay, let's talk about the scene with the rats. So basically it's not working on the rats. This is what I'm gathering. And so they've gone in to basically kill all the rats, as sad as that is, right?
They have. They're coming, they're getting rid of this round of rats.
Yes.
Because I guess, they feel that this is not succeeded.
Working.
Yeah. We've tried to infect them or whatever with this. I'm calling it a virus. I'm not sure if that's the correct scientific term, but that's kind of what it is. Psychic glue, apparently, is the term. So they tried to inject this psychic glue into these rats, and they couldn't. I guess the rats seemed fine. There was nothing amiss with them. And so, okay, well, that's not working either. Let's get rid of the rats now.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder if, because they're testing this on animals, like it worked on every single other animal that they've been testing it on for however many months or whatever, and they just didn't realize it because, you can't tell if an animal is happy.
Well, they maybe weren't measuring the right things.
Right. I mean, how would you measure that? Like there's no way.
I don't know. I'm sure there's a way. There's probably ways of measuring these things if you're looking for them. I don't know. I don't know. I'm waiting for the scientists who are listening to us to step up and say, oh yes, this is how you can measure happiness in an animal.
Right. And like when they pick out the dead rat and she's holding it and she feels the heartbeat and she's just going bam, 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 bam. She says, if I didn't know any better, I would think it was, and then it bites her before she can finish her sentence.
What was she going to say, do you think?
I think that she was going to say, if I didn't know any better, I think he's in a really good mood, or like, I think he's really happy or very excited.
He's just really he's just feeling very contented or something like that.
Yes.
Is that what it was? Like he looked dead because he was just so happy that he just was
blissed
super
out.
Chill.
Yeah.
Blissed out.
But the fact that she started it with, if I didn't know any better, to me indicates that like, there's no way, as you said, they would figure that out. Like they would even think about looking for that.
Because they thought they did know better. And so they weren't looking for it.
There's that hubris again.
It is.
But anyway, girlfriend takes her glove off, which everyone who's seen Outbreak knows what's going to happen.
I mean, as soon as the glove came off, I'm like, oh no.
Oh yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
And
I'm so sorry, Jenn.
Sorry, Jenn. As soon as it happened, though, I was like, I was actually kind of happy because I was just like, oh my God, now I get to tell Jenn she's patient zero. That was all I was thinking.
Thank you. I also answered to patient X for that, a little X-Files reference there.
Love it. So yeah, and so this, I have a question now. I have another question for us to theorize about.
I love the questions.
Was this part of the plan of the Pluribus? Let's just call it the Pluribus.
Okay.
Can't really say it's alien because we don't really know where it's from.
Well, it's extraterrestrial is all we know, but we don't know anything about what its origin actually is. So I'm happy to call it the Pluribus.
The Pluribus is trying to get this to happen, obviously, like that's its goal. But as we hear in a later episode, it started out peacefully, like, and quietly, and like they never intended for anyone to get killed or hurt or anything like that. So was the rat bite part of the plan? Like, was it already? I mean, it wasn't already occurring, but I feel like it needed to happen for this whole process to start.
I mean, it had to become. Humans had to be infected with it at some point.
Right.
Maybe the Pluribus thought that the humans would get this message and say, hey, this sounds good. Let's inject it into ourselves. Maybe they didn't think they were necessarily going to go through all these animal experiments, and they would just try it out on a random person and that it would work. And they would just skip straight to that. I don't know. I mean, I think that was the intention was, hey, here's some information. You should put it inside yourself. And I don't know if they knew how that would transpire, but they hoped that it would.
Well, and I should say this, we should have said this off the top, but it's the first time we might mention episode 2. So I should say, disclaimer, since they did drop both episodes, we're going to probably be mentioning episode 2. So if you're listening to this and you haven't watched episode 2 yet, maybe pause and come back, watch both of them. But they do, Zosha, the character Zosha says later that they had to accelerate the process.
Yes.
Because the military discovered it. And I'm assuming that the military discovered it this way. So that does now make me think that this was not anticipated, that like whatever their plan was, it was going to be much more gradual and they were going to figure out another way to have this happen. It's a little muddy to me, but I think the rat bite is what basically threw this whole thing into overdrive and made it spread a lot faster than they expected it to. Okay. That's kind of my
I didn't necessarily take it that way myself. I thought, because I'm looking at what Zosha says in Pirate Lady, episode 2, and she says, we didn't intend for anyone to die, and for the first month, no one did. We would bring in newcomers individually, thousands every day.
But the first month,
I'm thinking the first month is because this happens on Donut Day, as I've called it in my notes, is on like day 29. I think that's the first month. So I think the first month starts with Donut Day. And I think that's not when the military finds out, quote unquote, because I think they're also blissed out that it's not necessarily making its way up the military chain of command or something.
No, because this happened in the military base.
Well, it did.
Jen's, she literally works at the military.
I know.
Infectious diseases. So that's why I was confused by this timeline. This is when the military discovered it.
But I don't know how else it could have been. I don't know how else anyone else could have discovered it, though. I think this is supposed to be how humanity became part of the Pluribus hive mind. I don't think it happened anywhere else.
I'm not saying it did. I'm saying that this is the moment the military discovered it. We are watching that happen.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying that the timeline doesn't make sense, because she said for the first month, it was peaceful. Then when the military discovered it, we had to accelerate the process. So that's why I'm confused about the timeline.
I'm confused too, because I took that as meaning like a different branch of the military, I guess. That it was not the same thing as the military base.
If that's the case, then I think they made an error in having this whole Jenn scene taking place at the military. And there's military everywhere. So either there's something about the timeline I'm not quite understanding, or this was just unnecessarily confusing.
Military plus military. So I agree that it's confusing. I would love to hear what the listeners think about this.
I would too, because I was a little I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't super matter, but if we're really trying to plot this out and figure out what's going on, then it kind of does.
And in general, I find the plot was pretty tight. So to have
for sure,
something like this kind of stands out. So shall we plug into the hive mind of our listeners and form a psychic glue with them and via Twitter and Blue Sky and Pluribus Pod, by the way, and they can chime in and give their opinions. We'd love to hear them.
Yes, please do. So back to Jenn. She is having the seizure type shaky thing happening, and they're getting decontaminated, or she's getting decontaminated, and then you see her kind of relax, and she seems to be okay.
She's
and
fine.
I feel like they cut away because they cut to the vending machine, but I feel like there's obviously a scene there that we missed where she infects her buddy.
Yeah.
But then I love this scene with the guy at the vending machine, because I of course thought of our old pal Bill Oakley from Saul, who his eternal fights with the vending machine at the courthouse.
What is it with Vince and vending machines?
I know, but I love it. So Jenn comes up, and I liked her whole vibe. Like this actor did a really good job of portraying what it's kind of like to be. You're not crazy happy. You're not just hey, smiling all the time.
Yeah.
You're just, I would use the word content. Everything's fine. She kind of just comes up and she stares, and then she kisses him. And this is instant. It's like the second their lips touch, he's infected.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because the bite, it took her a good 30, 40 seconds before she started to seize and get infected. So
that's true.
And again, I'm not splitting hairs here. I'm just pointing it out in case it's important.
That's I think that makes sense to me because we're talking about a transmission from animal to human, which would probably be a little bit more complex
be a little
than
more
human to human.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I can live with that.
So, and this is one of my favorite moments too, is when it kind of pulls out and you see the buddy and he's kind of skipping down the stairs.
It's like immediately he's got it too.
Yeah,
he's got it too.
What's great too is like we all knew going into this show. I want to say we all, like us crazies who've been following it since day one. the very little amount of things that we knew about the show. One of them was that there's some sort of happiness virus that's infecting everybody. But I feel like you didn't need to know that going into this show to understand what is happening.
Absolutely.
Because the little skip is just, it's like, again, it's a very Vince way to get across a lot of information in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Wonderful little moment. Yeah.
Really, really well done. And
funny. And like a moment
and a funny
of
little
humor
moment. Yeah.
in a very scary, otherwise very unnerving scene.
Yeah, very much so. So yeah, well done.
Yeah, and we should point out too, people noticed this months ago, but the little headband wrap thing that Jenn is wearing has the pink bear from Breaking Bad.
Teddy bear on it.
A pink bear. Yeah. A little Easter egg.
Reminds us of Breaking Bad and the pink bear in the swimming pool. So, I mean, there's again, Vince loves his Easter eggs. So I definitely will buy that as an Easter egg.
Yeah. And this scene where they're all in the room, the military guys and the doctors, and I think there's like a DoorDasher. There's just like a bunch of just random. Yeah, I love how it's just like we just got everybody that came by.
Yeah, just everybody's there.
And they're doing it. At first, I was kind of like, okay, this is a little like cheesy that they're all doing it in sync. I thought that was my first thought, but then as the episode went on, I'm like, oh, well, they're all one. Like when I learned that they're all the same person, that totally makes sense. It's not just like cute choreography. It's okay. They literally are the same person. They're all the same person. Like, and it's so terrifying. Like it's a really scary concept. And I love the sort of dichotomy that they continually give us that like this really properly terrifying thing is happening.
Yeah.
And everybody's fine with it.
Yes. Yeah. That's kind of the heart of the show, isn't it?
Yeah.
This dichotomy of happiness and terror. And it's such an interesting way that they've combined these things and really well executed throughout both episodes.
Yeah. And then finally, the last part of this scene is our good old donuts getting licked.
The donut licking scene that we all know from the first teaser.
Now we know that like this is her way of spreading the happiness or spreading let's just call it the pluribus. Spreading the pluribus.
Spreading the pluribus. I mean, when I first watched that teaser, it seemed kind of like, well, that's a terrible thing to do. Why are you licking everybody's donuts? That's mean. But now we realize, oh no, she thinks she's doing a wonderful thing by spreading the virus.
She's spreading it purposefully.
Yeah.
Okay, Jenn, we've arrived at D-Day.
Okay.
0 days, 3 hours, 6 minute, 37 seconds. I should have said T- because we are here.
It's happening.
We are back in the ABQ. I have to point out this airport because I've been to this airport. It was kind of weird watching them walk through it. I'm like, I know where they are.
It's so cool.
I love this moment where they stop at the bookstore the sundries or travel. What do you call it? The little gift shop. What do you call that thing? I don't know. Whatever it is.
The airport
They stop
shop?
at the place. Yeah, the airport bookshop. I don't know. The books are in the shelf and they kind of look at each other, no words. Carol kind of gestures over there and Helen's like, okay, I know what she wants. I love this relationship. I really do. You said, we didn't get a lot of time to get invested in them, but it was enough. It was enough for me.
It was. Yeah, they're very charming together.
Great chemistry between these two actors. And I think that Miriam Shore plays, I know her name is Miriam Shore. I hope that she's going to come back.
I know. I'm like, oh, there's got to be a way.
Flashbacks. I hope. They have to do flashbacks. Like I am really hoping and praying we get flashbacks in this show because like there are so many characters we meet that I would love to see like their backstories. And it's all these interesting things. I want to see moments where Carol might have been genuinely happy. Like, I think there's a lot of potential in flashbacks. So all of that to say, I really hope we get to see more Carol and Helen in the future.
I know. Because it wasn't enough, and they were so great together. They were fun to watch.
Everybody needs a Helen in their life. Like, I think Carol, if Carol is kind of a fuck up, which I think she's supposed to be a little bit, Helen is like her, as we can speak in X-Files language, like her human credential. Like, she's keeping her sane. She's keeping her grounded. She's helping her make the right choices. Just very supportive, loving partner. Like, perfect. No notes. Like, they're great.
Absolutely. We could all wish for a wife like Helen. She's the best.
Exactly. So great. I love this moment here. Again, there's just so few words, and you just get it all from their performances. Like, Carol's trying to drive, and Helen's like, no. And then this is where we kind of learn that Harold, what did I say, Harold?
How much you had to drink?
Well, we'll get there. Harold should be their ship name, right?
Oh, yeah, it should be. Yeah.
All right, so Harold. No, it made
Harold.
sense. No. Carol goes around to drive. We find out that she has a drinking problem, and this is definitely shown repeatedly throughout the show. I have a feeling this is going to be a repeating theme. Not quite sure of the meaning of it yet, but the idea that you're doing something to sort of maybe numb your feelings a little bit, possibly. Some people use alcohol that way. People who drink it to excess use it that way sometimes. So anyway, it's just an indicator that like there's some issues. And I also have, I get the idea that like maybe they both had drinking problem prior, and Helen is maybe more the one trying to stop. I'm not sure what gave me that indication, but I kind of got that vibe.
Well, she's certainly being very responsible when it comes to driving. She's definitely being very aware of that. They've got like, there's like a little breathalyzer thing, right? On the car. Is that like a DUI thing? Like if you've been convicted, you need that's like one of the conditions of your release or something?
I don't know.
I've never seen one of those before.
I've seen them before because I like watch a lot of the like body cam footage on YouTube, and I like I go down rabbit holes on like all these ridiculous people. I don't know. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
So it is definitely something that a court can order, but I wonder if it's also something that you can get, like you can choose to get to prevent yourself from driving while intoxicated.
You must be able to.
I was wondering, okay, so there's two options. Either she has been arrested for a DUI, which is a huge, like, that could be a career-ending thing for somebody
I feel like it would
famous.
be a problem,
Yeah, so I almost wonder if this is a preventative measure.
Could be. Or could it be an insurance thing? Like, you get better insurance rates if you prove that you're a good driver kind of thing?
Well, I mean, we know clearly that's not the case. She needs it because she's a drunk. Like, that's why
she does need it. Yeah, she definitely. So maybe it could be like a sort of a self-restriction thing. Like maybe she's had some close calls, not actually been arrested, but like, you're going to get in trouble one of these days.
That's like, I'm kind of thinking that's more likely because I just feel like a very famous kind of high-profile author having DUIs, I just think that would really have hurt her career in ways that we don't see as evidence. So I actually like the idea that maybe this is like Helen's idea to be safe. Like, let's do this. Just, you can't drive if you had too many. I'll drive.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very nice supportive thing for a partner to do. Who knows that?
Absolutely. It kind of almost sort of speaks to a sort of maybe like a compromise. Like, I'm not going to quit drinking, but I will never drink while I'm driving, and here's how I will prove it.
Right. or like on Helen's end, I'm not going to give you shit for your drinking as long as you allow me this. Like, which
it
again,
seems like it's like a sensible solution. Yeah.
Right.
Because obviously Carol does drink. She's not like in recovery or something. There doesn't seem to be any concern about the fact that she is drinking. It's just no drinking and driving is the only limit.
Right. And I mean, we do see her drink quite a bit. So
she does have a bit of a drinking
she's
problem.
Gotta have, well, at least she does a problem.
In this context anyway. I mean, she does. We know that she's been drinking. She drank in the course of the flight to some degree, not to excess, but she's had some drinks. She has this fairly large Manhattan, is it? At the bar that they stop at. Apparently they have to stop at a bar before they can even get home from the airport, which is kind of indicative of how badly Carol wanted that drink, I guess.
She really needed that drink. I mean, that is interesting. Like maybe she just didn't want the trip to end. She wanted it to end on a nice note with her partner, and I don't blame her. But they get to the bar, and I love the way that she's just sipping her drink like a dog. Like
it's like it's so full that she doesn't want to lift it for fear of spilling a single drop of that beautiful drink.
I have to say, Jen, I felt very seen in this moment, and I don't know if that's a good thing.
I don't know if it is.
Well, what I think is really funny that I've noticed is that while we're recording this, I have my glass of wine and you're drinking a Diet Coke. Literally. Should we cheers through the screen? Cheers because unlike Carol, I will clink your fucking Diet Pepsi, even though it's a Coke.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for understanding. Yes, someone's got to drive around here just in case in case you start to blow over the limit in this podcast, I might have to take over. So I'm on the Diet Coke.
You're the Helen and I'm the Carol. People who know us from our prior podcasts probably think that tracks. Like you're the one.
I'd be curious.
You're the one who has to pull me back sometimes, I think. Not in alcohol. I just in general.
No. But there could be I think there could be a parallel there. I think that's an interesting suggestion. Again, I'd love to hear the listeners weigh in on this one. So but obviously our drinks are kind of giving us away right now. We did not plan this. This is just what we drink when we're podcasting.
I know, which again is very indicative of an issue on my end.
It says something I don't know.
You guys, it's Friday night. Okay,
it's Friday night.
I know this is the same excuse Carol would give, but there it is. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
I actually am not judging at all because if I were in her situation, I would probably be doing the same thing.
Well, this is it. I mean, we're talking about Carol's drinking, and she does drink, to excess in an irresponsible way throughout both of these episodes. But I will point out that we don't really see what her relationship with alcohol is like before Helen dies and all this shit explodes. Obviously, she's a bit of a drinker and has had some issues, but it's hard to know how much to judge the degree to which she drinks based on everything afterwards.
I don't know. I'm going to disagree with you there. And I'm going to say that I think it's pretty clear from the jump that she's got a drinking problem.
She definitely has some issues.
Anyone that needs to have a breathalyzer to start their car has a drinking problem.
There's definitely an issue there.
Yeah. So that's the thing. But I'm curious to see what the importance of that is and where it will lead. I think it's definitely an issue that we're going to repeatedly deal with here.
I think so. I mean, we certainly see plenty of the drinking throughout both of these episodes. And it's interesting to see what she drinks and when, I think, as well, throughout these episodes. So we'll take a note of that. Let's take a note of all of her alcoholic consumption as we go through these stories.
So, okay, this is another scene I love. They're sitting at the bar. We're really getting to know them while we can. And I think, again, it's a testament to these wonderful performances, but also just a testament to Vince's lovely writing. Like it's just a beautiful scene. You could tell Helen is trying to cheer Carol up because she's feeling kind of down. And it's funny. It's one of these things. It's like she should be happy. I think I alluded to this earlier, but there's a reason you just can't get there for some reason. And I feel like this is it's a nice way to showcase like depression. Like she maybe has got some depression and we don't really know why. It's coming from maybe some self-loathing that's happening. But like Helen even points out, like, oh my God, your life is so hard. Your fans love you. You're making so much money. Like you should be thrilled. Like you should be on top of the world and somehow you're not. And I think that's, again, just a very interesting thing to point out at the outset of this show.
I think it's nice. And I think it's also a nice little moment as well between Helen and Carol, that Helen's not afraid to say things like this, that, she'll call Carol on her shit from time to time. And I think that's good for Carol, probably.
It is. And like, there's really no indication of anything about this relationship being unhealthy, which is it's a nice refreshing change for characters played by Ray Seehorn.
I mean, it's not very common on TV in general to see a
Right.
healthy relationship,
Right.
Same gender or otherwise. And so it was just nice while it lasted. And it was not,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like over the top saccharine or anything like that. It was
No.
very nice, healthy relationship that these women seemed to be good for each other. And they were just lovely.
Really loved it. So Helen's telling her that she should write her, maybe she should write her serious book, because she's kind of complaining about how she's upset she's putting crap into the world, and, kind of being a little bit denigrating about her fans again. And Helen's very aware that, like, hey, you've been working on this thing, you should get this done. Which I wonder if it's going to come back. Like, I wonder if at some point in the show, like, Carol is going to start writing again, if that's going to be like a thing.
Maybe she's going to finally finish that book. I don't know. But we'll see. But it was interesting to hear that she's working on it.
Right.
And that this is perhaps the heart of where her discontent lies. It's not that she just hates her fans or hates everything that she's doing. It's just in contrast with what she wishes she was doing, and that she has this dream that she hasn't fulfilled. And so I found that kind of a nice thing to learn about Carol, that she's not just grouchy for no reason, but that she has this sort of unfulfilled dream. I think that going into Pluribus, what's the tagline about, the most miserable person on earth, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And I really expected Carol to be much more unpleasant than she actually is. I think that calling her the most miserable person on earth is way off.
It's not correct, because she very clearly has love in her life. She has success. She has adoring fans. Like, she has all of these great things. But again, like I said before, it just, for some reason, she can't quite be happy, which I think is relevant.
Absolutely is relevant. And I think that, I think that calling her miserable is going too far. I think that she sort of, she lacks content, and she's obviously, she's got some issues. She's, quick to anger and has these drinking issues and things like that. She's got issues like all of us do. But I wouldn't call her miserable. So and that was a source of relief for me, because I thought, I don't necessarily want to watch a show with a miserable person. That's not fun for me. Right. So I was pleased to see that while she's complicated and obviously has dark sides, as we all do, she's not miserable all the time. So that was, I'm glad that was an overgeneralization on the part of Apple's marketing department.
I agree with that too. I think she's, in my opinion, I think she's very likable. I think she's a very likable character, and I think that's important for your protagonist. I don't know.
So important.
I wonder too how much of that is Rhea, because I think Rhea, there's something about her performance in general, like in all of her performances that I've seen, that is so relatable and human and likable, like I said, that I think that really helps. I wonder if played by a different actor, if this role would have come across at the way that she's bringing it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a good question.
We will never know, and I'm glad we'll never know, because she's perfect. But I need to put that out there.
It's a great point, though. I agree that Carol's very likable, and it's partly the way she's written, but it is also partly the way she's played. And I do find Rhea Seehorn immensely likable, and I think that's definitely part of why she's a likable character. But I think it is also the way that she's written, and it's the combination. And I think that we know that Vince had Rhea in mind for this role for a very long time. And so I'm sure that one informs the other, that, the role was essentially written for her. And so there's a bit of Rhea in the way that Carol is written.
Exactly. But I do like this thing that Helen says to her, kind of trying to make her feel better. She says, you make even one person happy. Maybe it's not art, but it's something. Yeah. And I mean, I think it's very important for everyone to hear that, because I think that's true. But it's also like, in the moment, even if she's talking about herself, like, I think Helen is talking about her fans. I think that's what she's talking about. But you could look at it as, hey, you make me happy. And at the end of the day, like, that is important. That's worthwhile. That's human. These are all things that I think about as I'm watching it. And I think that this does get through to Carol, because, again, wonderful Vince storytelling. The clink. She decides to clink. Like, kind of like, you've brought me out of my funk. Now I will clink your fucking Diet Pepsi. Like, I love it. Loved it. Such a wonderful, beautiful scene. Wonderful.
Very, very beautiful. You can just see how good for Carol Helen is, and
that Carol does acknowledge that. Like, I don't think
she does.
Carol takes her for granted in a way that is, in a way that like anyone would take someone for granted. Like, I feel like we all tend to do that from time to time, but I don't think there's nothing that comes across to me like Carol's not treating her right. She's not appreciative of her. None of that. Like, they seem to be she's aware. So that's good.
I think you're absolutely right that Carol does appreciate Helen and shows it. And I think that's lovely.
Yeah. Particularly knowing what's coming. But this next scene I have to say triggered me greatly. Okay. Not in a bad way, but in like a what the fuck. They go outside and they're smoking. And of course, when they're smoking, I immediately am thinking of Kim and Jimmy. And then when she turns to light her cigarette, I have this visceral beast inside me that jumped up out of my body and was like, how dare you do that, Vince? Literally.
Wow.
Not in an angry way, but like of course. It really set me off. And I thought of Kim and Jimmy in that jail cell. And I was like, really already? We're one episode in and you're doing this? No. But I have to say, I'm being overly dramatic, but I have to say,
I'm not sure you are.
I have to say though, this, Jen, and I'm curious what you think about this. This is the only time, other than that shot that I brought up earlier when I thought of the ponytail, this is the only time in the entire show, both episodes, that I thought about Kim Wexler.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing because Kim Wexler is one of my all-time favorite characters. And I was a little concerned. I'm like, okay, am I going to be able to separate her from Kim as I'm watching the show? There was no problem. She melted into this role. This was Carol. This was not Kim. I wasn't thinking that at all. And it really didn't occur to me until like I was well into the second episode that I'm like, oh my God, like I haven't thought about Kim at all. Like, and I have to point that out because I think that's important. And I think that's a testament to her performance.
It really is, especially like you say, I kind of wondered the same thing because it's like, okay, it's Ray Seehorn again, being written by Vince Gilligan again. Am I going to be thinking about Kim? But I agree. I wasn't either. And it is a testament to how great Ray is and at embodying this character in her own way and making Carol her own person. And I never questioned it.
Yeah. So they look up at the sky and see that this is where the shit's literally going to start hitting the fan. There are these planes. This is very X-Files-y too. I love the Vince X-Files. You see these planes going across in these parallel lines. It's kind of like chemtrails-y. Like I thought of like several X-Files episodes.
Well,
Carol's noticing the weirdness. Helen's not. She's very distracted by, reading tweets and things to her. And this is actually... right as they're noticing this is actually when we find out that Carol's character, Raban, was actually originally meant to be a woman.
Yeah, although we don't actually find that out in this moment. They're kind of... there's a bit of an allusion to it.
I think it's pretty clear.
It wasn't to me, not at that point. I knew that there was something about the inspiration for Raban that we weren't hearing.
I think when she said, "Do you want to tell the truth?" Like to me, I thought that was very clear. But I get it.
Did not get it.
It wasn't spelled out until later. But like, to me, I was like, okay, I get what's going on.
You were ahead of me on that one.
It made me wonder, what is their relationship like? Are they publicly together, or is this like, oh, this is my agent, this is my PR person? Like, is this a kind of thing where she's like hiding who she is? Because
I don't know.
Do people know that she is gay, that she has a wife? Like, is that something she wants to keep private? Or like, why? Or is it just more about the book? Like, I am not ready to share that part of myself in a book. Like I'm not, the world is not ready for that, or something like to that effect.
Yeah. I kind of took it as the world is not ready for that. But at the same time, I also didn't get the impression that necessarily people were aware of her as being like a queer author or something like that.
Yeah.
Because, she's writing these very hetero stories.
Right.
And it wouldn't necessarily help her career for people to know about it. So I didn't really think about it, but I kind of got the impression that while she's not going to great lengths to hide it, she's not being super open either. That's kind of the way I interpreted it.
Right. Or at least not to the point where she's prepared to write that into her book.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it was a question for me. I was not so much a question. I guess I didn't see it as reflecting on Carol not wanting to be open so much as like, is she willing to go there in terms of writing a really different kind of romance novel than a mainstream one? That's kind of the way I took it. But thinking about it, we don't see a lot of evidence of her being particularly open about her sexuality. So I'm going to bear that in mind.
Yeah, there's no way to know for sure. And I don't want it to come across like she's trying to hide it or is ashamed of it or anything like that. But I think it's the kind of thing that when you're a public persona, she's very careful about what her private life that she lets out.
Yeah, which is true of anyone who's famous. Not that not necessarily about like whether you're gay or not, but it could also be like, well, I don't want people to know about this aspect of my life or that aspect of my life.
Right.
You might choose bits and pieces to reveal. So that's kind of how I took that. But now that I'm thinking about it, there were plenty. I'm jumping ahead slightly to the second episode, Pirate Lady, where there were plenty of opportunities where it would make sense for her to mention Helen, but she didn't. And it is, you could ask why not? And we will ask that when we get to that point.
Well, she mentioned Helen. Like, you mean in episode 2?
Yeah, I'm talking about episode 2 when she's with the other people like her, when they have the big meeting in Spain. I find it curious that she never seems to bring Helen up.
Well, she did once, actually.
Did she, though?
Yeah, she did when they were talking about the Guggenheim. She said, yeah, that was on Helen on our bucket list.
She was pretty drunk by that time, I think,
but I mean, I didn't take it as a thing that she was hiding purposefully.
No,
I never thought that.
I didn't think that at the time, but there were just kind of a couple of moments I thought, well, why aren't you talking about the fact that you've lost your wife? It seems like that would be an opportune moment to bring that up. And it was just, I wasn't sure why she wasn't doing it. I don't think it was because she was necessarily hiding her sexuality, but I'm not sure why she didn't mention it. Just because it just, again, I'm jumping ahead, but it just seemed like a lot of the folks there seem to be kind of like, we've all lost and here you are causing trouble and getting away with it. And it just seemed like she might have been able to bond with those people better if she'd said, I've lost people too.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that there would have been a moment for her to bring up the fact that she lost her wife, but also that could have more to do with the way that Carol is processing her grief.
Could well be.
Than anything else. And again, I have to think on that. But
I have to think on that as well. I found it curious that she didn't, but I didn't think it was weird. It didn't. Right. I wasn't questioning it, but I thought it was interesting.
Okay.
I thought it was interesting that she didn't want to share. Maybe she just doesn't want to share that with those people. Maybe she wants to protect it in her heart, or like you say, it's the way she's processing her grief. It's interesting, and I think Pluribus is going to be a story that's going to be a lot about grief, and I think that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. So this is when we are at 0 T-minus shit's hitting the fan part.
It's happening.
This was a really cool shot when the truck hits the car and she kind of turns around and runs over there. And we at that point know that something has happened. Well, we don't know. Now we know, looking back, that something has also happened to Helen. But because Carol's distracted by the truck, we're not seeing Helen and she's not in the shot anymore, which I thought was a really great way to film that.
Very interesting. And it makes total sense that Carol would be paying attention to this truck. Why would you think for a second there's anything wrong with your wife at the same time? You wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I was like, it is a little strange that you would think that she wouldn't put the phone down and join her and go see what happened with the car crash. But at the same time, I didn't bump on it because I'm like, Helen's always looking at the phone and she's doing her messages. So maybe she's just like
that Helen was back there calling 911 or something.
Who knows? She goes over there. Guy has passed out. We know kind of something is happening similar to Jenn, because we've seen that, but we don't quite know. Yeah. And at this point is when she turns around. She's telling Helen to call for help, and we see Helen fall. Now, I wanted to bring this up because this really hit me, like in the moment. Even though I don't know why, I kind of saw it coming. It hit me. It got me really hard. Why do you think Helen died?
Oh,
Of
wow.
all the
Great
people, I
question.
wanna talk about this because I think there's 2 possibilities in my mind. One,
Okay.
there's something special about Helen and all the people that died. Like, they died for a specific reason. Maybe
Mhm.
it's something about their genetic makeup. Maybe
Yeah.
it's something about who they're close to. Something special.
Mm.
Or here's the other possibility. Maybe she simply died, or the people that died, because some external thing that has nothing to do with the virus killed her,
Mm.
like her
Yeah.
falling
Yeah.
and hitting her head
Her head.
so hard on the pavement.
Yeah.
That could easily give anyone a
Mhm.
concussion bad enough that if untreated could kill them. So
Yeah.
I was wondering, was there some special reason Helen died, or did she just die because her body fell and she
Mhm.
hit her head?
Yeah, I think it's a really great question, and Sandy, my husband, and I have been discussing that very question a lot since we watched it. And I mean, the short answer is it's not clear in the
Mhm.
show, but I think you've nailed both options. I think at the time, the first time I watched it, for some reason, I just thought, oh, there's just something genetically different about her, maybe, and maybe we'll eventually find out what that is. And then the second time I watched it and noticed how hard that fall was,
Yeah.
I thought, ooh, yeah, that could have done it. And I
Mhm.
remember I also noticed that just as she's dying, sad, she's got like these red marks on her face that seem to be indicative of, I don't know, some kind of injury of some kind. I'm no
Like
expert.
aneurysm, or that's not
Yes.
the right word, but like
Something going
something.
on with the blood or something, I don't
Yeah.
know, like, maybe that's a sign that you've hurt your head or something. I'm
Yeah.
no expert, but it made me wonder, yeah, is that meant to indicate a head injury? Because it definitely could be, but I mean, there's no blood or anything, but maybe there isn't always in cases like that, so I think it's ambiguous,
Well, but it's
and,
funny too. It's
and
definitely ambiguous, but what
yes,
she's also one of the only people that actually do fall.
it is very
Most Yeah,
unusual.
most of the people, as you know, Carol goes into the bar and we're
Yep.
talking about this amazing shot and sees everybody kind of seizing and moving, and as she would
Yes.
as she would later say, doing this shit. What uh we see that they're all standing. Like, most
Yes,
of them are upright. Some of
they
them have
don't fall
fallen.
over.
Some of them
Yeah,
are upright. So I'm just like,
yeah,
okay, what determines whether you stay upright in your pose or you fall?
yeah. It was and
There's really no rhyme or reason to it, it
it was
seems.
such a violent fall too from
Mhm.
Helen, such a shocking fall, just
Yeah,
straight
so scary.
backwards.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So
so scary. And, yeah, it was noteworthy to me that most people seem to be perfectly capable of staying upright, so why did she fall over? Was it just happenstance that she happened to be leaning back slightly, or she was standing on uneven ground? There's nothing to indicate that, but will it
but
turn out that it's something nefarious, that it's something to do with Carol, that they wanted to take Helen away from her for some
right.
reason?
That's what I was
Well,
thinking at first, and then when we found out
yeah.
later that like 11 million whatever people died,
Yeah.
it was more than that. It was like 886
It
million
was
people
like,
died.
yeah, over
Yeah.
800,000,000.
Then I'm like, okay, maybe it's possible that many people were killed by external, like, okay, you're driving and this
Yes.
happens, you're going to die because you're going to die in a
Yes.
car crash. Like, it's very feasible to me that that's
Mhm.
how these people could have died, and that's the
Yeah.
reason that they died. But then I'm like, okay, like I said, what caused some of these people to fall and hit their
Mm.
heads, and other people to stay upright? So anyway,
Yeah.
just something to think about. I thought it was
It was
interesting.
just interesting. I mean,
Yeah,
what's going on? Will we find out more? I'd be curious to,
I
that's
think
for
we will.
sure, because it's definitely, noteworthy, because most people didn't die. Most people
Yeah,
just became part of the hive mind,
right.
and, Helen didn't, and I think that's definitely significant.
Well, no, she did become part of the hive mind, but she
Did
died.
she? Just
Yeah,
very briefly, maybe? Let's
no,
talk about that when we get there.
they literally say that she did, but
I
we'll
mean,
get
they
there.
say that she did, but are we to believe it?
I believe it, but I'll
I
tell you
mean, I
why
guess
later.
they probably
Yeah,
it has to be true, because how else do they know all that stuff that they know?
exactly. But okay, let's talk about this shot, because I think this shot when Ray, I keep saying Ray, when Carol runs into the bar and is
Yeah.
met by those shaking beer
Yeah.
glasses.
So cool.
Oh my God, like that shot, I think has stuck in my head the most of this entire episode.
It's a very memorable shot.
So cool. And then there's this great oneer of her going around between all the people,
Mm.
wonderfully choreographed and shot.
Yeah.
Great job by everyone involved. These extras are great. And,
Yes.
Ray is doing a hell of a job going from mode A to mode B and then
Mhm.
mode G, and then like throughout this entire next 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
I mean, I just, right off the top, just so that I know we're going to continue to bring it up, but I just need to say that she is absolutely incredible in this episode. Just like,
oh, absolutely.
And like we said, we were hoping she was going to be given, maybe more to do.
Yeah.
And that wish came true instantly.
Oh, yeah. Like, very much so. I mean, like, you don't have to look far for her Emmy reel episode. I think it could easily be the first one.
She earned the Emmy in this first episode, in my opinion.
There's so much going on, and so much that she has to do with her character. And she does it all brilliantly.
I have to point out, give a shout out to Dave Porter's music in this scene. It's like, it really stood out to me. It's like very Twilight Zone-y, like just very different. He did the score for Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And I mean, showing here that he can do something just incredibly different and unique. Well done.
I didn't immediately think that this was the same composer because the music was so different. So I was really glad to see that it was. And fantastic job.
So Carol realizes quickly she can't get any help. And so she jumps into this truck, which I love has this giant unicorn on the hood.
The unicorn, though, is the unicorn a symbol, though? Because Carol, Carol's unique,
the unicorn.
Like a unicorn.
Yes.
I was like patting myself on the back when I noticed that last night. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm noticing symbols. Congratulations to me.
Well, let's get serious here because she loads Helen up into the back of the truck. Shout out to Morley cigarettes, which we know from X-Files. Did you see that? Did you notice
I thought they were Morley cigarettes. I wasn't 100% sure, but they were, right?
They were Morley.
Nice.
As we know, the brand that the cigarette smoking man smokes in X-Files.
I love that. I love the fact that Vince still uses shout outs to the X-Files. That's brilliant.
It's funny because I don't recall if Morley was actually used in Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, but it was in El Camino. I remember very specifically seeing it in El Camino. Right. So
very nice.
It is it's part of the universe.
It is.
Yeah. So I told you that I would bring up Indiana Jones again. And I wanted to in this scene when we get to the hospital and she goes into the hospital and you see this shot where she gets real close to the camera and you see her reaction, only her reaction.
Yeah.
And then you kind of see the whole scope of what she's looking at. It very much brought to mind a shot from Indiana Jones, from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't know if people out there remember, but this moment when he's looking for Marion in the baskets and he rushes out into the marketplace.
Oh,
yeah. Very similar shot where you see his face and he's like, what the fuck? And then it shows that there's like a billion baskets. And
which I remember that.
Yeah. So that was hopefully an homage to that.
Could well be.
It was a really like wonderfully used camera move.
It worked really well.
Yeah. Carol tries to wake up this doctor. Like I would do the same thing. Go to the doctor. Yeah. You need some help with your wife is dying. You don't know what's happening. And clearly I like the fact that like I kept thinking if I were in this situation, I would be doing the same thing that she's doing. There's nothing everything is fucked up. Everybody's crazy. No one is helping you. But what else can you do but push forward? What else can you do? And
you got to try.
As long as she's still alive, and she is, you need to try and get help.
We see immediately how determined Carol is and how sort of tough she is. Like, she's moving that guy out of the way, whatever it takes in that truck. And it's really like, immediately we see what kind of a character Carol is, that when she needs to, she's very tough and very determined.
Yeah. And this is all very physically demanding. I imagine
it would be.
This would be exhausting. Everything that she's doing would just be so physically exhausting.
Yeah,
so,
she's really putting everything she's got into it.
I wanted to put this out and see if you noticed this. When she was trying to wake up the doctor above him, like there was a shot or there was a screen behind him that I guess was like promoting some sort of hospital seminar or something. But at the top it said, "Join us."
Oh, I did not see that.
I didn't see it until the second time I watched, but I was like, that's clever. That's
clever.
Yeah.
Very clever. I love it.
Okay, coming up, this is another one of my favorite moments of the episode. Just in Rhea's performance, she's just so great with these little tiny moments when she saves the little the baby seat, the car seat from falling.
Yeah.
And then you see her look. You don't see what she's seeing. Thank God. I don't need to see it. But clearly the baby is also seizing. And she looks just so disturbed by it. And she kind of like shakes. Right? She puts her hand over her mouth. It's a wonderful, just little moment. Well done.
It is. And it tells us everything without us having to see the baby. Yeah.
Yeah. She did everything she needed to do. So I kind of laughed at this part coming up. She is pushing that stretcher through that hospital sofa. She absolutely nails that guy in the back.
She does.
First of all, want to know if that was actually Ray doing this stunt or if that was a stunt person. And second of all, is that guy okay? Like,
She really nailed him, but she's so apologetic.
She's like, I'm sorry. Fuck, I'm sorry. she's just, I love it.
She's just doing her best. It's like, that would be me. I just feel like I could really identify with her here. Yeah. That if there was like a crisis, I would hope that I would be that tough in that situation. But I'd also be I'd kind of fuck up and I'd be apologetic about it and I wouldn't know what I was doing, but I'd just keep trying anyway. Yeah. And I feel like she's just so real. She's unlike some perfect hero that knows everything she's supposed to do and suddenly has like abilities and knowledge that someone shouldn't have.
No, she's just a person.
Very real. Very real.
Yeah. And she's determined to help Helen, but alas, she cannot. The scene absolutely destroyed me.
Me too.
I was not expecting it. Like I said, like we haven't really gotten to know them for much, but like I know, it was enough because I was very, very affected by this death. 90% of that is due to Ray's performance here. I literally just wrote, Helen smiles, then dies. Ray earns her Emmy. Those were my notes.
I mean, she does. I mean, her reaction is so believable and so heartrending. Yeah. And wow, it got me. It really, really got me. Like up until this point in the episode, I was just really engaged and involved and like, oh, wow, this is really like, what's happening? But that was the moment in the episode where it's like, oh, wow, now I've got all the feels. Yeah. And it was really well done. And I definitely felt it.
Yeah, for sure. And like, once again, like, I almost feel like Vince wrote all these beats just to give her a challenge because why else would you do something this difficult? Like, I mean, look, she ate it up and she executed it perfectly, but like, she needs to go from this scene where she's devastated over the death of the love of her life. And then she literally has to lift her head up and see like, these zombie people like getting up and then immediately shift into like terror mode. Yeah. It's incredible to watch.
It's too much.
It's too much.
And poor Carol. I mean, like that's just a lot for a woman to go through in one night.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot for her to go through in 30 seconds. But so all the people start walking out and it's like the weirdest zombie movie you've ever seen because they're not trying to hurt her, which is like the most unsettling thing of all.
Like they're walking towards her, but they're not attacking her.
Yeah, and she finally is just like, what is happening? And this is the first time she's actually trying to address somebody and see, even though I think deep down she knows she's not going to get an answer. Yeah. What else are you going to say?
Well, you got to try.
And so Dr. Nguyen, tries to kiss her and she's understandably weirded out by this and like, grossed out and
not the time
or like what the fuck like and I think there's also another great moment from her when she's yelling at the people to get away from Helen.
That one also I felt in my heart like, oh yeah, wow.
And they talked about this on the podcast that like there was a moment where she sees that everybody's getting up but Helen isn't getting up. And there's something that flashes across her face that's almost like jealousy. Like why are all you getting up and the person I love isn't getting up? And I think that she really communicated that well in just a tiny moment. Yeah. Because we're all thinking it and we're all wondering it and then we can see it on her face. So it's great. So she says what is happening, and then everybody just says, "We just want to help Carol." And at this point, I just laughed because her face was just so like I would be thinking if my wife hadn't just died, I would be thinking this was just some fucked up prank. Like I would be like, the whole town is pranking me. What is happening?
What the fuck?
She obviously knows at this point this is not a prank.
Definitely not a prank.
Terrifying. And it's almost like a cartoon character, the way she just like jumps into the truck and just gets the fuck out of there. It's these moments I think are very, very purposeful. These moments of humor that are just perfectly timed in the places that we need them.
Very, very well. I mean, I think Rhea Seehorn is underestimated in terms of the very subtle, dark humor that is present throughout these episodes, and she does a beautiful job with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to point out this scene where she's driving home. I don't know if you knew this, but one of the writers from Better Call Saul, Tom Schnauz, makes a little cameo.
Oh, I did not know that.
There's a group of like guys that look like they're at it's like a 50-year-old party. He's like, we're turning 50 or something like that. They all have the same shirts. Yes. And he pops out and he tweeted about it recently. So that's the only reason I knew. It was a very brief cameo, but it's just fun to be like, hey, there he is.
It's neat. I like that.
Really, really cool.
Fun.
Okay, Carol gets home. So these neighbor kids pop up.
Creepy children are always creepy, especially when they're speaking in unison.
Yeah, and I could tell that like she's freaked out by them too. She's like, no, go. Yeah. Leave me alone. And I feel like they listened. This is what's so cool too. Like when she told them to not touch Helen, they listened. Yeah. When she told them to leave her alone, they did it. They all fucking left. They're like, we're leaving.
They took it very literally. I don't think she meant it like everyone, but they're like, okay, you want to be alone? We're all out of here.
Yeah.
No question. Yeah. So we see right away that whatever she wants, they immediately give it to her.
Yeah. And I noticed too then, this is such a dumb detail, but I wanted to ask you, there's a bunch of bags like packed by the door. Did you notice that? Like luggage?
And I think that I did notice luggage, and I was wondering why is there luggage here?
Because
was it on the inside?
Back? Yeah, it was inside their house by the door, and I'm like, okay, are they packed and ready for their next?
Maybe.
Visit?
Yeah, I did notice it, and I didn't know what to make of it because I mean the luggage that they had just brought back with them, I don't think they have with them anymore. That would be in their car,
in the car at the bar, so
or whatever.
Like it's
and so I don't know what that's doing by the door. So I didn't really know what to make of that.
It's a really dumb detail, but if y'all know what that was,
detail.
Let us know because I was curious about that.
Yeah,
anyway,
why are those bags there? Yeah,
why are those bags there? So okay, coming up was I think probably I don't know. This is the money scene. I would say
it kind of is,
right? Like this was just so great. So first of all, she's plugging up all the windows so they can't see in. We see that this truck is coming and collecting the dead bodies, which is creepy.
Yeah, that was extremely that kind of freaked me out. Like seeing like the bodies in the trailer. I'm like, oh shit, like this is serious now. The threat level has just gone up.
Yes, yeah. And clearly, I mean, she's terrified. Obviously, she's very confused. And this is the scene that we've all seen bits of in the trailer, right?
Yeah.
Where she's turning on the news. She's desperate to find out something. And I think that I feel like this was a nice commentary on the state of some news networks today, that as she's flipping through every single one, it just says no information. Because it's like, everything is just so, what do we know? How do we trust anything anymore? It's just hard to know. And then she finally gets to the shot of the White House, the press room, and she's like, fuck, yes, God bless America, which I think was very funny.
That was funny.
She's quickly going to be taking that back. But
yeah, she's not going to stand by that one.
This was so funny to me because it's who we later learn is David Taffler. And he's played
Davis Taffler, I think.
Davis, sorry. My autocorrect must have done that because
mine did
Davis.
Too, actually.
I was like, why did I write David? And he was played by Peter Berkman, who is a longtime actor on The Young and the Restless, which I think is amazing.
Oh, all right, nice.
He did a great job, perfect in this
terrific.
role.
Yeah.
And he's just waiting. He looks cheerful. Cheerful, but he's just chilling.
He has to. Yeah.
Drinking his water. And then she notices that the chyron running across the screen says, Carol, call us. Carol.
Yeah. And that's kind of, I think you see on her face, like, shit,
Oh,
this is not a
God.
regular press conference.
This is not over. This is just beginning.
This is something, this is not my salvation. This is just part of all of this.
So I wanted to bring this up because I thought this was very funny. When she decides to call, she goes to pour herself a drink, the little drink, which she drinks, and then she pours a much taller one. And
much taller.
She kind of like tosses the cork. And
she's like, I won't be needing this again.
I won't be needing, and it spins and it just kind of lands perfectly in the middle of the desk. This is a Vince Gilligan staple. Okay. In Breaking Bad, we have Walter White throwing the pizza on the roof and it lands perfectly. In Better Call Saul, we have Chuck throwing Jimmy's cell phone out of his house and it lands right in the middle of the frame, like perfectly. And they did it like on the first take, or they did it. It was just, it worked out that way. I want to know how many takes that took to get the cork to do that. Or was this another just stroke of Vince Gilligan luck?
I just kind of thought it was luck.
I loved it though, because it spun and it landed perfectly. And how could you plan that?
Like I feel like if you planned it, it would take 100 tries. Yeah. And it was kind of like, I feel like it was just one of those just, kismet kind of things. It just worked.
Yeah, it might have just been completely accidental. But again, like, I don't know if the pizza was accidental. Like, was he supposed to throw it on the roof, or was it just land there and they were like, that's awesome. You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
Who knows?
But it's great.
Oh, God. It is great.
I love it.
So she finally gets a hold of the guy, of the Undersecretary of Agriculture, and
it's not the president.
No, we thought it was the president, but I think it's even funnier that it isn't. He's like, I was the closest one, and I happened to be wearing a suit. Like,
yeah, like it's also very chilling that he's saying, "Oh yeah, no, the president's dead."
Yeah,
and what does he say? Like all of the
basically everyone above him,
all of the higher officials of government, and it's like. He's saying it very cheerfully, but like, oh, that's not great. That's not great news.
Yeah. So, but I do like the fact that she says the whole bit where she's like, yep. Like,
yep. Yep. Like, what else can you say?
I need to point out that Vince is a monster for making her say such a triggering word to Better Call Saul fans. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
But I love that. My favorite thing about this scene is that whatever sort of like nonsense he's telling her would then show up on the screen as a headline.
Yes. That was my favorite part of that scene.
What is being said is nonsense.
Yeah.
But we're going to put it in there in simple block letters so that you know that it's true. We're not aliens. Your life is your own.
I thought that was all hilarious.
So funny. It was so funny.
Because it's their regular like news chyrons, like you say, that's what we're used to seeing on news stations. But normally it's like news. And so it's just funny to hear. It's like,
it's something specially just
for her. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we can't read minds. Yes. Like, put that up there too. It's hilarious. I had to go back and just make sure I'd seen every one of them because they were all perfect. And
so good.
I thought they were hilarious. So it was just one of those just subtle sort of humor bits. It was one of my favorites.
Yeah, I agree.
Loved it.
But this is where we get actually a lot of information. Like
we do.
There's not a lot being left to the imagination at this point. Like there's definitely things that we need to figure out, but like right off the bat, they're telling us what is happening.
Which I was not expecting. I mean, we'd heard very little bit about what to expect on Pluribus in terms of the plot. And I thought it was going to take us a long time to find out the origin of what was making everyone weirdly happy. And I was surprised that we found out right away, like, why did this happen? We don't know all the specifics, of course, but we know we have the basics. We have the rough outline of what transpired. And I'm kind of glad. That we know that so we can focus on other things.
I agree. I mean, he basically, I think the most important thing he tells us and Carol is that it's basically a hive mind. We are all one. We are us. Who the fuck is us? Everyone. You're talking to everyone on Earth.
Yeah.
And I think this is not been clear yet, but like the implications of that are very clear in the next episode, which we'll get to in our next episode. But very interesting. It's not only that everyone's happy, it's that we are all the same. Like everybody is sharing.
We are one. Nobody's in charge and everybody's in charge. It's the psychic glue.
So she is done. At this point, I like the two when she's just like, what the fuck is happening? I like that they play that out. It was cut off.
Good to finally hear say that.
It made me think of Bad Blood, X-Files episode when Mulder at the very beginning is like, oh, and they cut off and they go to the credits. That's kind of how they handled the trailer, which I thought was really funny.
So it was nice to see her finally get to say fuck.
Yes.
So that was, good to see it finally, see her complete the thought.
Yes. Love it.
And it was great. And that moment when Davis says, so we can fix it, so you can join us. And that, I mean, we've seen that line, but I don't know if we've heard the music before. And the way the music came in there was just a real sense of, we're fucked. Like this is the moment where things, I think for me at least, turned a little bit. Like up until that moment, Carol maybe felt like some hope, like, okay. And when you say fix it, what do you mean by fix it? Like we can get everything back to the way it was, right?
Right.
So it's like, no, we're not going back to the way it was. You are going to become like us.
And learning
just learning that, I think it's kind of like, I'm completely fucked, I think is kind of the sense that she has at that point. And it's that dark moment.
Right. And the other thing that we learned that I thought was huge was that she's not the only one. I've been mentioning this.
Very big deal.
There's 11 other people allegedly that are like her in the world, which was totally a shock to me because I always thought that like she was going to. I thought she was going to be the only one for sure. And so learning that there were these other people was like a cool, like, oh my God, I want to meet these other people.
Like, okay, and I figured we'll meet them in about 5 episodes from now. No, we're going to meet them in the next one, which was great.
I was like, I literally turned to my husband and I was like, that's going to take the whole season to meet all these people.
That's going to be the quest, is to find the other people. Nope, actually. So
they're not making us wait at all.
I really appreciated little things like that. Like we are moving.
We are moving
through this plot and we're not being made to wait unnecessarily. And I love that. And I love the fact that in the scene, we learn that it appears at least that the hive mind isn't holding anything back from Carol. It looks like they're being honest and upfront. Like
they're being very transparent. Yeah.
Yeah. If they were being secretive and sinister, you'd think they wouldn't want her to know about the other people. But the fact that they're telling her right from the get-go is like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know if this is me being naive, but I legitimately believe that we are supposed to believe them. Like they are being sincere. Like these people, the hive mind, they're not necessarily the bad guys. They're just, they are what they are. All they want, their only motivation, like they don't have any like hidden agenda. They just want to bring Carol into the fold. That's their only motivation.
For good reasons, it seems. I think that...
Or what they think is good reasons. Yeah.
For what they believe is, for what they think it's for her own good. And that's a concept I think we're going to explore more in the next episode.
Absolutely.
And... I'm intrigued by this idea. And again, Sandy and I had a bit of a debate about this of, are they completely reliable? Because I don't think we see much to indicate otherwise. Generally speaking, it seems like so far at least that they seem, like you say, transparent.
Trustworthy.
And weird, definitely weird, but not necessarily sinister. But at the same time, we're just talking about, this is the voice of humanity, the humanity as a hive mind. But what about the people that made them like this? What about the extraterrestrial force that made them like this? We don't necessarily know what their intentions were, because I don't necessarily think they're part of that hive mind.
Right.
So I guess that, to me, is the bigger question that I'm sure will be addressed in the future, which is humanity might have one idea about what's going on, but whoever created this and sort of imposed it upon humanity might have their own agenda.
Right. Like, are they just turning us into slaves? Like, are they turning us into these,
making us docile so that we're easy to conquer?
Yep. I mean, then these are all excellent questions.
These are the big questions for the future.
But it's like, everyone that this has occurred to, and I think Carol's very aware of this, that they're all victims of this thing that has happened. They're not necessarily the enemy, but at the same time, she's like, I don't want to be that. Like, and I feel like maybe there's a lot of things going on in this show, but I feel like the concept that they're trying to get across, or what they want to make you think of, is like, in order to be completely blissfully happy, you're going to have to sacrifice your individuality and your free will. Is and experiencing the full range of emotion comes at a price. And like, are we as human beings willing to pay that price? I feel like that's kind of the concept that I'm seeing so far. I feel like
I think that's definitely a part of it.
One of many concepts. But
I think you're right. I think that's definitely one of the themes going on here. And I think we'll definitely see it continue to play out. I think there's a lot of layers going on here that we'll see more and more exposed as we go. But I think that's definitely a big part of it.
Well, I mean, is there anything else you wanted to talk about for episode 1 here, for We As Us?
I don't think so. I think we hit on a lot of things. I think it was a riveting episode, and I was super invested in Carol from the beginning.
Same, absolutely. And I think the only thing important to say that I didn't mention is that the clock at the end starts counting up.
It does. Is it counting up towards something? Who can say? But
it says 0 days, 0 hours, 59 minutes, and 57 seconds.
Where are we going?
I imagine that the point of impact, the 000, was just the moment that everyone became,
That's going to be my question now, is what caused it? Was it the chemtrails? Was it the airplanes overhead? Is that what triggered the hive mind? Is that what triggered everyone suddenly being seized like that? Do you have a theory about that?
I think it is. I think that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
I think that's the only one I came up with, is that's what those planes are doing. They are distributing the virus via something
way. It could be through gas or what, or it could just be some strange new type of technology that we're not aware of. Who knows?
Could be.
I think that the closeness of those planes and showing them, the proximity of that moment to when everything happened is not coincidental.
I think you're right that the planes are carrying it out, and that's the mechanism of delivery.
Exactly.
Good. I'm glad we cleared that up.
Hopefully. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Jen. We have yammered on, but like that's the first episode of Pluribus. There's so much to say.
And I could do another 2 hours on this episode because there's just so much going on and so many interesting things we could speculate about and explore, and I love that.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you guys are still with us, thank you so much for sticking with us. We're very excited to go on this journey with you, and we want you to participate. If you're on Twitter or Blue Sky, hit us at Pluribus Pod and let us know your theories. Let us know, what you think about, what were those questions we were asking? I don't remember.
About the whole military timeline thing.
Yes, the timeline was one of them,
the big
for sure.
For me. Yes. And also are Annie and Jenn like Carol and Helen? What's the parallel there? That was the other very important question.
Our listeners that already know us can hopefully speak to that.
Yeah, please chime in on that. So that'll be great to hear. So you can find us on Twitter, Blue Sky. If you prefer not to do the Twitter and Blue Sky experience, you can also email us which I guess, is it old-fashioned to email people now? Also, pluribuspod@gmail.com. You can find all the links to all of this on our website, pluribuspod.com. There's a theme here. It's Pluribus Pod everything.
Yes.
Will find us. And you can we don't have the psychic glue, so we are using those means to stay in touch with everybody.
Well, thank you to everybody for listening. Our next episode is going to be about Pirate Lady, and it will be dropping on Monday morning, so you're only going to need to wait a couple days for it. And we will be back with you every week for a new episode recap. And then after that, who knows? We plan to keep continuing the pod.
We're going to keep going.
Whatever content we can come up with.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but we want to hear from you guys, so let us know. And we will see you guys next time on Pluribus Diaries.
Bye.